At my sister's extravagant wedding, she struck me before 200 guests because I refused to surrender my penthouse to her. Unbeknownst to her, a judge was among the onlookers. My parents, ever insistent, demanded I relinquish my luxurious home for their golden child's new family. Mother declared, "Ungrateful offspring don't deserve prosperity." Father chimed in, "Your sister's future children need proper homes." My sister sneered, "I'm finally claiming what's rightfully mine." When I stood my ground, she slapped me sharply in front of the crowd, prompting laughter from the guests. I held back tears, choosing a retribution that would quiet them for good. The champagne glass shook in my hand as I watched my sister Serena glide across the polished floor of the Ritz-Carlton's grand ballroom, her bespoke Vera Wang dress flowing like molten silk. 200 guests had gathered to witness her storybook wedding to Daniel, a shrewd investment banker she'd met just 8 months prior. The irony wasn't lost on me. She was marrying for wealth while coveting my hard-earned assets. I'm Victoria, 32, and I've toiled relentlessly to reach my current stature. While Serena spent her 20s chasing fleeting romances, I burned the midnight oil in law school and logged 70-hour weeks at a prestigious Manhattan firm. 5 years ago, I took a leap of faith, founding my own practice specializing in corporate disputes. The gamble paid off handsomely. Last year, a major settlement enabled me to purchase a penthouse with a breathtaking view of Central Park, a prize my family now claimed as theirs. "Victoria, you're positively glowing," my mother, Deborah, cooed, her insincere smile reserved for moments she wanted something. Her silver hair was impeccably styled, and her sapphire gown likely cost more than most people's monthly rent. "We need a quick family discussion." My stomach churned. Morrison family talks were never pleasant. "Mom, it's Serena's wedding. Can't this wait?" "No, it cannot," my father, Richard, interjected, his face stern. At 58, he still exuded authority in his tailored tuxedo, but his eyes carried the familiar disapproval that had shadowed me since childhood. "We've been reviewing your housing situation." "My housing situation?" I set down my champagne, kneading both hands free. "What about it?" "Well, dear," Mother's voice dripped with false sweetness, "you know Serena and Daniel are building a family. They'll need more room than Daniel's cramped rental." I blinked. "They're not even expecting yet, Mom." "But they will be soon." Serena's voice cut through as she joined us, her new husband's arm around her. At 28, she was undeniably striking, with chestnut hair and emerald eyes, but her calculated smirk made my skin crawl. "We're planning to start trying immediately." "Congratulations," I said warily. "I'm sure you'll find a wonderful place for your family." "We already have," Serena replied, her smile sharp. "We want your penthouse." The words hit like a punch. "Pardon me?" "Now, Victoria, don't get defensive," Father interjected, his tone condescendingly rational. "Be reasonable, you're single, you don't need all that space. Serena and Daniel, however, are starting a family. They need room for kids, for their future." "You expect me to give up my home?" I was incredulous. The home I'd slaved for years to afford? "Not give up," Mother corrected quickly. "Exchange, you could take Daniel's apartment. It's perfectly suitable for one person." "A 600-square-foot studio in Queens?" I asked bluntly. "You want me to swap my 3-bedroom penthouse on the Upper West Side for a studio in Queens?" "Victoria, don't be so theatrical," Serena snapped. "You barely use all that space. Why do you need 3 bedrooms? You don't even have a partner." Her jab stung, as intended. Serena had always been the favored child, flawless in our parents' eyes. They praised her courage for abandoning college to discover herself. Her job and relationship hops were exploring possibilities. When I graduated top of my law school class, they fretted I'd overworked myself. "I need those rooms because it's my home," I said, my voice rising. "I earned it, I paid for it, and I'm not giving it up." "Victoria Elizabeth Morrison?" Mother's tone turned icy. "That's utterly selfish. Family always comes first." "Family?" I laughed bitterly. "Have you ever treated me like family? When I needed support for the bar exam, you called me aloof. When I started my firm and struggled, you labeled me reckless. When I succeeded, you acted like it was a fluke." "That's unfair," Father said, but his voice lacked conviction. "Is it? When was the last time you asked about my life, my work, my happiness? But the moment I have something you want, I'm suddenly family again." Serena stepped forward, her face flushed with fury. "You know your problem, Victoria. You've always envied me. You can't handle that I'm getting married, that I'll have the family you'll never have. I'm not envious, Serena. I'm disappointed in you." "Disappointed?" She laughed coldly. "You're disappointed in me? I'm the one tying the knot, giving Mom and Dad grandkids. What have you done besides chase money?" "I've built a life," I said calmly. I've worked for everything I have. I've never asked you for a thing. Well, we're asking now, Father said firmly. Your sister needs that penthouse more than you do. It's time you contributed to your family. Richard's right, Mother added, her voice rising. Selfish children don't deserve success. You've had everything handed to you, and now you won't help your own sister. The accusation was absurd. Handed to me? I worked 3 jobs to fund law school, lived on instant noodles for 2 years while growing my practice, and never asked you for a penny. Your sister's children need proper homes, Father bellowed, drawing stares from nearby guests. Not some tiny apartment. They deserve better. They don't even exist yet, I countered, but I knew I was losing ground. My family excelled at making me feel guilty for my achievements. Serena leaned closer, her voice venomous. You know what, Victoria? I'm done pretending to care about your feelings. I've always been the better daughter. I'm prettier, more charming, and I make Mom and Dad proud. Now I'm finally getting what I've always deserved. And what's that, Serena? I asked quietly. Everything, she said simply. The penthouse, the respect, the life you've been hoarding, I deserve it all, and I'm taking it. Over my dead body. The slap came so swiftly I didn't anticipate it. Serena's hand struck my cheek with a sharp crack that echoed through the ballroom. For a moment, time froze. 200 guests fell silent, their conversations halting as they turned to witness the spectacle. Then the laughter began. It started with a few snickers from Serena's friends, who'd always viewed me as overly serious and work-obsessed, but it spread rapidly through the crowd. Strangers laughed, pointed, and whispered behind their hands. Did you see that? She actually hit her! About time someone humbled Victoria. She always seemed so arrogant. My cheek stung, but I refused to cry. I wouldn't give them the satisfaction. Instead, I stood tall, feeling the weight of 200 gazes, absorbing their laughter, murmurs, and judgment. Serena smirked triumphantly. Maybe now you'll act like a proper sister. My parents stood behind her, offering no apology or defense. They just watched, waiting to see if I'd cave to their demands. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about the penthouse. It was about keeping me in my place, reminding me that no matter my success or effort, I'd always be the outsider, the one who didn't matter. But they'd made a fatal mistake. They'd humiliated me before 200 witnesses, including prominent figures from New York's legal and business elite, people who knew and respected me. I reached into my clutch, pulled out my phone, my hands steady despite the rage coursing through me. Without a word, I began typing. Victoria, what are you doing? Mother asked, unease creeping into her voice. I ignored her, continuing to type. The laughter around us quieted as guests noticed I wasn't reacting as expected. I wasn't sobbing or fleeing in shame. I was doing something else entirely. Victoria, put that phone away, Father ordered. You're making a fool of yourself. No, I said softly, still typing. I'm not the one who should be ashamed. Serena lunged for my phone, but I stepped back, hitting send just as her fingers grazed the screen. What did you do? She hissed. I met her gaze, then my parents', and finally the crowd still watching with rapt attention. I chose the revenge that will silence you forever. Their baffled expressions were almost comical. They'd expected me to yield or break down. They hadn't anticipated resistance. My phone buzzed with a reply, then another, and several more in rapid succession. Victoria, what did you send? Mother's voice grew shrill, panic setting in. I smiled genuinely for the first time that evening. I sent a message to my group chat. You know, the one with my attorney friends, the journalists I've collaborated with, the business contacts I've built over the years, the people who actually matter in this city. Serena's face paled. What kind of message? Just a brief update about tonight. How my family demanded I surrender my penthouse to my sister and her new husband. How my mother shouted that selfish children don't deserve success. How my father claimed my sister's unborn children needed real homes more than I do. How my sister struck me before 200 guests because I refused to hand over my life's work. The ballroom fell deathly silent. Even the string quartet stopped playing. I also noted how everyone laughed when I was attacked, I continued, my voice carrying clearly. How they found it amusing that a successful woman was being put in her place by her family. Victoria, delete that immediately, Father growled. I shrugged. Delete the truth? Too late. It's already out there. You know how social media works, Dad. Once it's posted, it's permanent. My phone vibrated incessantly with messages of support, outrage on my behalf, and requests for more details. The story was spreading faster than I'd imagined. "You spiteful!" Serena shrieked, her voice cracking. "No, Serena, I'm just done being your punching bag." Daniel, silent until now, finally spoke. "Victoria, maybe we can negotiate something. We didn't mean for it to escalate." I looked at him with pity. "You married into the wrong family, Daniel. You have no idea what you've signed up for." "What do you mean?" he asked, genuinely puzzled. "I mean your new wife and in-laws just made enemies of some very influential people. Do you know Judge Margaret Lang? She was here tonight. She saw everything. She's already messaged me, appalled by your wife's actions." Serena's face turned ashen. Judge Lang was a formidable figure in New York's judiciary, known for her intolerance of entitled behavior. "And David Ramirez from the Times? He's been shadowing me all evening for a story on my latest case. He witnessed it all. He's asking if I want to comment on how successful women are treated by their families." "Victoria, stop," Mother pleaded. "You're ruining Serena's wedding." "Serena ruined her own wedding when she chose to assault me in front of 200 people." "It was just a slap," Serena protested. "You're overreacting." "It was assault, Serena, witnessed by 200 people, including lawyers, a judge, and a reporter. You want to know what I deserve? I deserve not to be attacked by my own family." My phone rang. I glanced at the screen and smiled. "This is intriguing. It's Amanda Carter from Carter & Associates. You know, the firm that handles high-profile reputation management. She's offering her services pro bono." Serena's face drained of color. In New York's elite circles, reputation management meant damage control. If Amanda Carter was calling, the story had already spread beyond my network. "Victoria, please," Serena whispered. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. It was just emotions." "You're sorry?" I laughed humorlessly. "You're sorry there are consequences. You're sorry you can't just take what you want from me without resistance, but you're not sorry for what you did." "I am sorry," she insisted. "I'll apologize publicly. I'll say it was a mistake." Too late. The damage is done. And it was. The crowd's expressions had shifted. The laughter was gone, replaced by uneasy murmurs and pointed glares. Guests who'd found my humiliation entertaining now viewed Serena with disdain. Social media posts were going viral, and in New York's high society, reputation was everything. "What do you want?" Father asked, his voice heavy with resignation. "I want you to leave me alone," I said simply. "All of you. Stop treating me like a cash machine. Stop expecting me to sacrifice my happiness for Serena's convenience. Stop pretending family means anything to you beyond what you can extract from me." "Victoria, we're still family," Mother said weakly. "No, we're not. Family doesn't demand your home. Family doesn't berate you in public. Family doesn't assault you at a wedding. Family supports, celebrates, and respects each other. You've never done that for me." My phone buzzed again. It was a text from my assistant. "Victoria, TMZ is calling. They want to know if you're the lawyer assaulted at the Ritz-Carlton wedding. What do I say?" I held up the phone for them to see. "TMZ is calling. This is about to go very public." Serena began sobbing, her perfect makeup streaking down her face. "Victoria, please. This is my wedding day. Don't destroy it." "I'm not destroying anything, Serena. I'm just refusing to be your victim anymore." "What can we do?" Daniel asked, desperate. "How do we fix this?" I looked at him, my parents, and finally my sister, crying in her wedding gown. "You can't fix this, Daniel. This is who they are. This is what they do. They take and take until nothing's left. When you say no, they attack you for it." The ballroom was emptying. Guests were making excuses, slipping away from the unfolding family catastrophe. Serena's dream wedding was unraveling, and everyone wanted distance from the mess. "The penthouse is mine," I said quietly. "I earned it. I paid for it. I'm keeping it. If you want a nice place, Serena, get a job. Work for it like I did." "I can't believe you're doing this," she muttered. "I can't believe it took me this long." As I turned to leave, Father grabbed my arm. Victoria, wait. We can sort this out. Family therapy, mediation, whatever you want. I looked at his hand, then his face. Let go, Dad. He released me instantly, aware of the implications of restraining me after what had just happened. There's nothing to sort out, I said. You made your choice tonight. You chose Serena over me, like always. You chose her convenience over my work, her demands over my boundaries. When I said no, you let her assault me instead of defending me. We didn't know she'd hit you, Mother insisted. But you didn't stop her. You didn't apologize. You didn't even check if I was okay. You just stood there. I walked toward the exit, my heels clicking on the marble. Behind me, I heard Serena's sobs, Mother's frantic whispers, and Father's angry mutters, but I didn't look back. At the door, I turned one last time. The once elegant ballroom now looked like a disaster zone. Guests huddled in small groups, whispering and pointing. The bride wept, her makeup ruined. The groom stood stunned, and my parents scrambled to contain the spiraling damage. You know what's ironic? I called out, my voice echoing in the near-empty room. I would have helped you if you'd asked respectfully, if you'd treated me like family instead of a bank account. I'd have helped you find a great place. I might have even chipped in for a down payment. The silence was deafening. But you didn't ask. You demanded my home. You insulted me, screamed at me, and attacked me when I said no. So now, you get nothing. I left the Ritz-Carlton with my head high, leaving behind the wreckage of my sister's wedding and my family's reputation. The elevator ride felt endless. As the doors closed, I could still hear the chaos upstairs. Muffled voices, cries, and chairs scraping as guests fled. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing since I sent that message, each notification a mix of relief and apprehension. The lobby was mercifully calm. The night manager, a refined man in his 50s, approached with concern. Ms. Morrison, is everything all right? We heard there was a disturbance upstairs. I paused, realizing even the staff knew. I'm fine, thank you. Just family drama. He nodded politely, but his eyes betrayed curiosity. By morning, the story would spread through the hotel's gossip network and beyond. In New York's elite circles, scandals traveled fast. Outside, the cool October air hit me like a second slap. I stood on the sidewalk watching traffic along Central Park South, trying to process the night's events. Part of me couldn't believe I'd done it. Another part wondered why it took so long. My phone rang. It was Riley, my closest friend, a prosecutor I'd met during my first year at the firm. Victoria, what's going on? I saw your group message, and now there are photos all over Instagram. Did Serena really hit you? She did. I started walking toward the subway, needing to move. Holy, are you okay? Want me to come over? I'm fine, Riley. Actually, I'm better than fine. I think I'm finally free. Free? Free from pretending they're my family. Free from guilt over my success. Free from tiptoeing around them. There was a pause. Victoria, this is going to get messy, really messy. I know, but I'm tired of cleaning up their messes. Let them handle it for once. What about your parents? They'll be crushed. I stopped walking. Riley, they watched their daughter assault me in public. They demanded I give up my home for their favorite child. They called me selfish for keeping what I earned. When do I start caring about their feelings? You're right, she said softly. I'm sorry. I know how much family means to you. Family means everything. But they stopped being mine long ago. I was just too blind to see it. After hanging up, I opted to walk home instead of taking the subway. The 40-block trek to my Upper West Side penthouse gave me time to think. My phone kept buzzing, messages from colleagues who'd been at the wedding, friends who'd seen the story online, and journalists who'd somehow gotten my number seeking quotes. The most surprising message came from Patricia Winters, a senior partner at my former firm. We'd parted amicably when I started my practice, but rarely spoke. Victoria, I just heard about tonight. You have my full support. What happened was appalling, and I admire your strength. Call if you need anything." Her words brought tears to my eyes, not of pain, but gratitude. Here was someone with no obligation to me, offering support because it was right. By the time I reached my building, I had over 200 messages and missed calls. My doorman, Luis, looked alarmed as I entered. "Miss Victoria, you okay? You look like you've had a rough night." Luis had seen me through law school stress, breakups, and late nights. He knew me better than my family. "I've had better nights, Luis, but things will improve from here." He smiled. "Good to hear. You deserve all the happiness." In the elevator, I studied my reflection. My cheek was still red from Serena's slap. My hair was disheveled, makeup smudged, but my eyes were clear and determined. I looked like someone who'd fought and won. Entering my penthouse felt like stepping into a sanctuary. The city sparkled through the windows, a testament to my hard work. This was my home, and no one would take it. I poured a glass of wine, sat on my couch, and began scrolling through social media posts about the incident. Someone had recorded Serena's slap, likely thinking it was funny, and posted it on Instagram. The video had been shared hundreds of times with comments ranging from outrage to support. "This is awful. Who hits someone at a wedding? That lawyer's my hero for standing her ground. The sister's so entitled. Assault is assault, family or not. Why were people laughing? What's wrong with them?" It wasn't just strangers commenting. I recognized names from New York's legal and business communities, even a few celebrities who'd seen the video. The story was growing beyond family drama. My phone rang again. It was my assistant, Jenna, calling from her personal line. "Victoria, sorry to call so late, but the office voicemail is overflowing, and reporters keep calling me. What's happening?" "What kind of reporters?" "Everyone, local news, Page 6, TMZ, even CNN. This is everywhere." I closed my eyes, exhausted. "What do they want?" "They're asking if you're pressing charges, if you'll sue, about your family history, your law practice, even your dating life." Of course. A successful single woman attacked by her married sister was catnip for stories about women and family dynamics. "Jenna, draft a statement. Keep it short and professional. Something like, Ms. Morrison appreciates the support, is focused on her work and clients, and won't comment further on this private family matter. Should I mention charges?" I paused. I hadn't considered pressing charges. Serena's slap was meant to humiliate, not injure. But the question opened new possibilities. "Don't mention charges. Let's keep our options open." After hanging up, I realized I was starving, having eaten nothing at the wedding due to nerves. I ordered Thai food and began assessing the fallout. By late evening, the story had exploded online. The Instagram video had thousands of views. Bloggers were writing think pieces, a feminist on women sacrificing success for family, a therapist on toxic dynamics, a legal expert on assault laws. My story had sparked conversations about success, gender, family expectations, and self-respect. Serena's Instagram, once filled with wedding joy, was now flooded with angry comments calling her entitled and abusive. Her wedding hashtag, #Serena and Daniel Forever, was hijacked to share the slap video. I almost pitied her, until I recalled her smug grin as she hit me, claiming she deserved everything. My dinner arrived, and as I ate pad thai, unexpected calls poured in. My college roommate, long out of touch, offered support. A cousin, the family's outcast, shared her own stories of mistreatment. Even my high school counselor, who'd seen the story on Facebook, called to say she was proud of me. The most significant call came from Judge Margaret Lang. "Victoria, I hope it's okay I called. I got your number from the court directory. I want to apologize for what I saw tonight." "Judge Lang, you don't need to apologize. You did nothing wrong." I should have stepped in. I just stood there like everyone else. "You were a guest, not a mediator." "Maybe. But I've been thinking all evening. That wasn't just drama, Victoria. It was abuse. emotional, financial, and physical. I've seen it too often in my courtroom. Her words hit hard. I'd been so focused on the slap and penthouse demands I hadn't seen the bigger picture. But she was right. This was years of my family treating me like a resource, dismissing my achievements, and guilting me for my success. I never thought of it as abuse, I admitted. It's not always obvious, especially from family. We're taught to tolerate behavior from relatives we'd never accept from strangers. But tonight, the financial demands, public shaming, physical attack, it's textbook family abuse. After hanging up, I sat in my penthouse, her words echoing. Had my family abused me? The term felt extreme. They'd never hit me before tonight, never threatened me outright. But they'd consistently undermined my success, guilted me, and expected me to prioritize Serena's needs over mine. When I refused, they humiliated and attacked me. Maybe Judge Lang was right. Perhaps this was abuse, just in a subtler form.